Hello, welcome to Forever Well. My name is Tom Stavorowski. I'm the founder of Forever Well and the developer of gut-brain therapy for migraine prevention. Here at Forever Well, we like to say that we combine the best of both worlds, taking the concepts and philosophies and ideas in natural medicine and combine them with some really fascinating, exciting modern medical research to come up with this new concept of treating migraine disease. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and we've got lots to share with you. In part one of this introduction, we're going to talk about what we've learned from natural medicine. And then in part two, we'll look at modern medical research and bring the two together for you. You know, I like to say that everyone knows there's something good about natural medicine, but they're not sure what. And when they turn to the bookstore and the internet and the health food store to learn more, what we typically get is overwhelmed and confused. There's so many products, so many different philosophies and ideas out there. The chiropractor says this, the naturopath says that, and the nutritionist says something else. And quite frankly, we don't know which way to turn and who to believe. There's no guiding philosophy, no path to clarity through this big, wide, wonderful world called natural medicine. However, there are some common threads, and it lies within their philosophies. If you look at Ayurvedic medicine from India, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, homeopathy, naturopathic, chiropractic, various massage therapies, energetic healing methods, even the shamanic traditions in native cultures. They all, in their underlying philosophy, look at disease, chronic disease of any type, migraine included. They look at disease as dis-ease, an imbalance in the organism, that you have to bring the organism back to balance to cure any illness. And it's really amazing how common that thread is. They believe that only the body is curative, and that the body is not only capable of healing itself, but in every minute of every day, the human organism is designed to constantly try to achieve the health and balance and vitality that we're all looking for. So that's great. What it suggests is that if there's headaches and migraine disease, or again any chronic illness is present, there must be some obstacle to the cure, something blocking the body's attempt to achieve the health and vitality. Now, my main mentor and our chief medical officer is a Dr. James Sensney. You'll hear from Jim in future videos. Jim likes to say that illness is caused by the breakdown of normal function in one of three areas. The body's not getting something that it needs, the body's not eliminating something that it can't use, or the energy, the life force, the vitality is low. Now, that sounds a little too simplistic until you look at how the body really works. And so let's take a look at that for a second and see if maybe you can start to see why this simplistic philosophy may have some wisdom as it relates to your migraine disease. Step one, the body's not getting something that it needs. Well, that would be a combination of digestive function and what we choose to eat or drink. You know, there's an old saying you're all familiar with, that you are what you eat. I'm going to revise that just a little bit, because what we see in natural medicine, a lot of chronically ill people don't have good digestive function. So it's not what you eat, it's what you digest, absorb, and assimilate. When you look at how the body works, we take the nutrients, the body's digestive system takes the nutrients from the foods that we eat and liquids we drink and breaks them down into the components that can be absorbed into the bloodstream and sent to all the various organs and systems in the body to be utilized to nourish the cells so they can make hormones, tissue repair agents, neurotransmitters and neuropeptides like serotonin, immune system components. All the internal function of the body is dependent upon adequate nutritional support. Now again, I know this sounds a little simplistic, but stay with me. So in natural medicine, we believe, the doctors of natural medicine believe, that there is a huge percentage of the public that does not digest and absorb well. And probably the best indication of that is I've been studying the natural medicine field and the medical field for 15 years. I've gone to all kinds of alternative doctor conventions all over the country in my learning process. One of the most consistent things that I would hear from the practitioners in natural medicine was something along this line. 80% of the people walking into my office, I don't care what disease they have, are protein malnourished. Not because most of them don't eat adequate protein, but they tend not to digest and absorb it well. Now, when you ask the question, why don't they digest and absorb well, there's a lot of different answers. Some people think some doctors say it's the stress levels, others say it's the way our food is processed, some blame environmental toxins. I would imagine it's a combination in different people of a variety of all of it. But let's assume for a moment that what they've witnessed anecdotally and clinically has some reality to it. That we're not digesting and absorbing as efficiently as we should, particularly as it relates to protein. Well, why would protein be important? Again, let's look at the body. The body is made up of about 70 to 80% of water. When you take the water out, what's left is 70 to 80% protein. The internal protein metabolism cycles of the body. When they take the protein that we eat and it's digested down to amino acids and small chain peptides and absorbed into the bloodstream, then those proteins go to various organs to be made into hormones and tissue repair agents and neurotransmitters and neuropeptides like serotonin. I know this is ringing some bells for some of you. So what if digestive function is not providing the building blocks so that the body can make the proper balance of hormones at the proper time during a woman's monthly cycle? Is it possible that that might be a root cause of menstrual migraine? We think so. In some patients, they may not be digesting and absorbing protein, and it's affecting their ability to make neurotransmitters and neuropeptides. When we get to the second half of this introduction to the modern medical research side, you're going to learn that 95% of the body's serotonin is made in the gut. All the neurotransmitters and neuropeptides that function in the central nervous system also function, a lot of them are made in the gut and function in the gut brain, which you're going to learn about in a few minutes. So, you started looking at this. Now, let's go back for just a minute and look at the philosophies of natural medicine. I said they all look at disease as disease, an imbalance in the organism, and the only path to cure is to help the body work better. Well, guess what they all say? Everything starts in the gut. Now, we've always known the gut's responsible for digesting and absorbing the food that we eat into the nutrients that we need. Research has shown that there's some 80% of our body's immune function goes on in the gut, the digestive system, this tube that runs from our mouth to our anus. So it's responsible for food, it's responsible for immune function, and now we're seeing with this gut-brain research a huge neurological component in the gut. Gee, maybe everything starts in the gut. So while it's a simplistic way of looking at things, I've come to understand that there's great wisdom in simplicity. And if the human organism is not getting what it needs, or not eliminating what it can't use, that's another component. When a woman has her monthly cycle and she's created this level of hormones that allows the cycle to occur, when it's completed, those hormones must be processed out of the body, along with all the waste products that from normal metabolism must be processed out of the body. Whose job is that? Liver or kidney. You got to make sure the body's eliminating what it can't use. So within the underlying philosophies of natural medicine, we see this concept of treat the body, not the symptoms. Now, let me stop for a second. You're a migraine sufferer. I'm never going to tell you not to treat your symptoms. Anything that relieves pain and suffering is a good thing. The problem is, as long as the focus is on treating your symptoms, you're offering no hope of cure. So that's what we've learned from studying natural medicine. The body is an amazing organism. It's constantly striving in every minute of every day to achieve the health and balance and vitality that you're looking for. Therefore, if you have a disease present, migraine disease in this case, there's some obstacle to the cure, and the principal obstacles are we've got to improve digestive function, we've got to improve liver-kidney function. So that's the basis. Now, as I said in part 2, please make sure you watch that. We're going to talk about some really fascinating modern medical research that supports the philosophies and concepts that we've just introduced you to. So thanks for listening. We'll see you in part 2.